Derick, why'd you take your pants off?
Joe!
My balls was hot.
It is the most amazing thing I've ever experienced.
I understand.
I'm a two-division champion, baby!
Derick Lewis finds himself the Cinderella of UFC 230 when he faces off against Daniel Cormier for the heavyweight championship of the world. This most improbable underdog with thunder in his hands and fire down below will need to muster special effort in order to dethrone the double champ. To do so, Lewis would be wise to take a page out of DC's book and find a way to put pressure on the favorite and simply go out there, have fun, and give it your best shot. That's exactly what Cormier did to win the prestigious Coaches Challenge against Stipe at TUF 27 as a huge underdog, and later at UFC 226 to snatch the heavyweight strap. We'll break this down and show how Cormier's mindset pushed him to become one of the best ever to do the damn thing, and whether or not Derick Lewis is likely to catch the man slipping.
Hey, talk about stacking the deck, huh?
Drive, focus, will, timing, luck. How best to parse victory's constituent derivations. Hello, I'm Cavassier the goddamn Newt. Outgunned, overmatched, and inexperienced, who can explain the miracle on ice? There are too many factors, both known and unknown, to be able to point at one thing and say, that's it, that's why they won, or this other thing doomed the Red Army despite their advantages. By observing a fighter's personality and psychological tendencies over time, we can build a probabilistic model of how he should behave given a set of circumstances. Today we'll analyze the TUF 27 Coaches Challenge between Stipe and Daniel Cormier. There's a lot to observe once the competition heats up. As the drama and pressure build, immutable characteristics reveal themselves through action, instinct, and disposition. They held the Coaches Challenge at a hockey rink.
Today's the Coaches Challenge, and we pull up to the hockey arena, and it's a nightmare.
I skated one time before for like 10 minutes. I played hockey before, like in the street, just like rollerblading and stuff, so I felt pretty confident. I feel like, I feel good.
And Cormier immediately showed that he had no business being on the ice.
Hey, talk about stacking the deck, huh? I'm from Louisiana.
I never played hockey.
Your ponds actually freeze over in the wintertime.
It does actually, yeah.
The Coaches Challenge this season is hockey shootout.
The irony here is that's actually Dana in the mascot costume.
The coaches will take turns as goalie and shooter, trying to score on each other.
Now I appreciate classy presentations as much as the next guy, but can we get some pants for the ladies? Seriously.
Then the goalie becomes the shooter, and the shooter becomes the goalie. So the second coach to shoot will get up to 10 shots to beat the score of the coach who shot first, and that will determine the winner.
I always wanted to be a goalie.
Stipe's a good-natured guy, but a little confused why they're watching reruns of The Shield in the middle of a hockey rink. He's just thinking about a ride on that Zamboner machine.
A coin toss will determine which coach shoots first and which coach is the goalie first. Good luck, guys. I wish I was there to watch this one.
You're gonna make sure this flips. All right, Blue, whether you want to be goalie or shooter first. You want to be goalie first?
We did coin toss. I actually won, so I was happy. I was like, I'll be goalie first, so I put the pressure on DC.
Old Stipe mighta shoulda consulted with his coaches on this one. He can see that Daniel is all but conceited, yet instead of choosing to be aggressive and bury DC before he has the chance to acclimate, Stipe makes the decision to go defense first, a tactic which gives him the final shot to win, but also takes the pressure off Cormier and puts it solely on his own shoulders.
I was nervous, man, because I was excited, but also I was like, man, I want to fall flat on my face and look like an idiot.
Now, do you want to hang on to me to start? Or hang on to the wall?
Oh, no. It's gonna take time, though. I'm going backwards. Hold up.
I don't want my children to see me flopping and falling all over the ice.
Oh,
That's why we put the elbow pads on.
And Tony McKegney just rolled over in his grave. I'm not saying Stipe is the second coming of Guy Lafleur, but your boy can't even stand on his own. Once the competition starts, it becomes a battle of who can learn to adapt their athletic abilities most effectively to the new challenge.
on the ground yelling, oh my God, because I thought I was getting shut out. Like, I'll be honest with you, I didn't think I was getting any.
DC hit his first shot, like, fell and somehow magically got it through. Felt really bad because I was like, how did I miss that? You know, and yeah.
Every time I fall down, Shane has to pick me up because I do not have the ability to get back to my feet once I fall to the ground.
One more, last one here. Let's go, coach. Take the momentum to the roof.
Ends up with 4. This is a miracle.
You know, I think that was a big one. I wanted to stop it. Of course, I didn't. But I think I blocked it more than half of the shot, so I felt pretty confident with it.
It's time to do this. They put the goalie stuff on me next, which is more gear and even harder to use.
Get low!
I'm dying here. Stipe standing there, he's all big, and he's ready to go. So I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm gonna catch a couple, might block a couple. I thought I was gonna do some slick stuff, right? Like, I thought the stuff I see on TV, like when the goalie kind of just drops his knees, squeezes his legs, I was like, I'm gonna catch a couple like that too.
It's interesting how Cormier pictures himself having success and coming up with highlight reel saves with style points, even though the dude has never stepped on the ice, let alone settled back in the crease with all the gear and tried to stop 6 ounces of frozen vulcanized rubber. Stipe draws his confidence from a vague expectation based on that one time he played floor hockey in gym class. DC's imagination about how he will perform is much more specific and vivid than Stipe's. Perhaps more importantly, Stipe is looking back in time and Cormier is looking forward. You get the sense that DC believes he's about to channel the ghost of Pokey Reddick.
First one goes right between my legs. Sounds like, oh, this is gonna be a lot harder than I thought. So then the second one, it hits the stick. I guess it flipped over because it still went in. Now he's got 2, and I've got 4. We're only through 2 shots.
I made my first 3. I feel great now. I'm confident. I got 7 shots. You know, I'm ready to roll, man. I need 2 more, and I got it.
He's got a little bit of a shot going on here.
He's pretty good.
I looked up at Shane, a look of just sadness and a moment of clarity that my boys weren't getting any money.
Help me up.
Stand.
And I looked over and I saw the face of Thailand Clark, Luis, and I saw Brad, and I said, you know, I have to fight for my boys. Next one, bang, I stopped one.
That's the value of being able to laugh at yourself. You think DC gives a flying Wallenda if he makes a fool of himself? The man's gonna give his all to win, regardless of what it looks like.
So I dive, and I stick my stick out as far as I can. It knocks the puck out of there.
DC steps forward to meet a challenge halfway without even thinking about it. Stipe isn't as psychologically flexible. If something is outside of his comfort zone, he's as likely to shrug it off as anything.
Listen, I have no idea how I am doing this.
7 came, and I'm like, all right, cool. I need 1 more. I need 1 more. DC's blocking all of them.
The next one hits me in the nuts. Then it just falls down. It's like, what is going on?
This competition's as sloppy as a Tijuana donkey with stage fright.
Now the pressure's switching because it's on Stipe now. Now he's only got 3. He's got to make 2 to win, 1 to tie.
2 shots left. Here we go. Okay, this is it. This is the win, brother. This is the win. What's going on? I told you, underdogs, my man.
One last shot.
Hey, make your best shot. Go for the tie. We'll take it to extra time. That's fine.
I have a pressure shot I gotta make this to go in action. It's on death.
This is it.
At the moment of truth, with the all-or-nothing pressure ratcheted up, Daniel Cormier flashes a little of the stick work that made his number 27 numerical namesake Ron Hextall so goddamn great between the pipes, while Stipe lays a Claude Lemieux-sized Cleveland steamer.
That has to be one of the proudest moments I've ever had in my entire life.
DC overcame the odds, and there was a miracle on ice. because that sumbitch won.
The improbability of the moment rings a pretentious bell that Stipe can't unring all those many months later on a hot summer night in the Las Vegas desert at UFC 226, when DC writes an historic blow to consummate his union with greatness. Well, that's what I see. Stipe held all the relevant advantages over DC in the coaches' challenge, yet somehow Cormier managed to remain competitive long enough to turn those advantages into the onerous dead weight of expectations unfulfilled. If DC had no business thinking he could beat Stipe in the challenge, then how did he do it? Not through superior technique, experience, or athleticism. The poor bastard couldn't even get back on his skates without help. DC was a fish riding a Huffy in the damn Tour de France. So how did he snag the yellow jersey? Daniel Cormier found a way to create maximum pressure until there wasn't a chance in hell that Stipe puts the winning biscuit in the basket. That's the power of the mind, of a strong psychological understanding of yourself, first and foremost, and consequently a decent grasp of others and the world around you. This is all well and fine for DC when he's the underdog, but what about when he finds himself standing across the octagon from Derick Lewis at UFC 230 as the prohibitive favorite? How do you put pressure on a guy like Lewis who has nothing to lose and repeatedly shows the ability to remain cool under pressure even when his balls are steaming? As Willie Shake once said, that is the question. What do you think? Will Cormier keep his eye on the prize long enough to get his hand raised? Or does Derick Lewis finish DC quicker than a bucket of spicy Popeyes? Let me know in the comment section below or over on the Twitters. And smash that like button for money, luck, or for love. Remember, this isn't supposed to be easy.